Hi everyone, and welcome to Two-Player Quest, where I help you on your quest find the best two-player board games for you. In today's video, we have the quest for El Dorado, which in my case is by 999 Games because I have the Dutch version of the game. In the quest for El Dorado, you play as an expedition leader trying to find the legendary city of gold. But what crew members will you hire to get you through this jungle as quick as possible? And how many teams keep the game interesting? Let's explore! El Dorado is a game for 2 to 4 players that plays in 30 to 60 minutes. It's at a 1.94 on Board Game Geek for complexity, so it is a relatively easy game. And I would say it's a medium luck game. It's a deck builder, so you can choose what kind of tactic you want to choose, but of course you are still limited to a certain hand size. So if you keep drawing the wrong cards, even though you bought the right ones, it's not going to help. This is what the setup can look like at the start of a 2-player game. Over here we have all the players' pawns, then we have the map. At the end there we have El Dorado, the end. We have the first player token, player number 1's player field, player number 2's player's field, the available cards to buy, and the, at the moment, unavailable cards to buy. Now, every player starts with a certain deck, shown with the colour at the bottom. So this is the blue player. At the start of your turn, you draw 4 cards. Now, the cards tell you what they can do, and that's these symbols here. So this gets you over 1 ore. This will get you over 1 machete, and this can be 1 coin. Now, whatever cards you don't use can be used as coins. So, for example, this traveller gives you 1 coin, but if you were to use 2 other cards, that could also count as a coin. Now, looking at where we are on the board, with 2 machetes and 1 ore, I can get myself to that spot, and then I have 1 coin left to buy something. This is the current tableau of what can be bought, and there is only one thing that costs 1 coin, so I will buy this one. Then the cards I played and the one I just bought go onto your discard pile, and you draw up to 4 cards. You can keep cards in your hand if you so wish. Then it is the next player's turn. In a 2-player game, the first player to have both pawns at the end wins. In a 3 to 4 player game, the first player to get their 1 pawn to the end wins. If they arrive at the end at the same time, it is important to see these. When you are next to one of these grey edges, you reveal it, and the first person to go over that edge, in this case with an ore, receives this banner. If it's a tie, the player at the end of the game with most of these banners wins. If then it is still a tie, it's the player with the highest number. Teaching this game to new players is extremely simple. You probably need about 5 minutes and then you can get going. It's that easy. I would recommend El Dorado to people who are looking for a simple strategic deck building game, as that is what this is. And I also think it's a really good next sort of level board game. So to broaden your board game horizons or help other people broaden their board game horizons if you're a bit more experienced, this is an excellent fit. It sort of teaches the mechanics of deck building, introduces how that works in a simple way, which is still fun for players who are more experienced. El Dorado is a fun little deck builder, which has a lot of variety in it. You have different ways of setting up the map, you have different cards that you can get to afterwards, and even with the same map, there are many routes you can take to get to where you're going. So it's really diverse in that aspect. Now, we really like it to play with people who are less board game proficient because it's fun for them and it's fun for us. So that's wonderful. That's what you want in board games, fun for everyone. In general, with the 2 of us, it doesn't really come to the table that much because if we are playing a game with the 2 of us, we would like to play something a bit more complex. But I still think this is an excellent game for pretty much everybody to have in their cupboard to play with those less experienced players. Dorado works great at every player count. With 2 players, you get 2 pawns each, so you end up having 4 pawns in total on the board, which is nice as the game has the concept of you can't go through a different pawn. So you can get in each other's way quite a lot, especially if there are more pawns on the board, and that's part of the fun of the game. So if you only had 2 pawns with 2 players, then that concept would have been gone. So I really appreciate that you have 2 pawns with 2 players to just keep that concept and keep the game quite similar. So in general, I would say it is most certainly 2-player approved, but it's also great with more. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching our review of The Quest for El Dorado. If you want to see another one of my reviews, please click up here. If you have any comments, feedback or suggestions, put them in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you next time on 2-Player Quest.